Hi guys! Today I'm going to do a video that I have meant to do for ages and for some reason have just kept forgetting to actually get around to it. I did a blog post on it probably about 18 months ago or a year ago, and the films in it have not actually changed, so if you've read the blog post you're going to know what's coming. But these are my top 5 21st century rom-coms. Now obviously by that I mean rom-coms that have come out since the year 2000, because there are a lot of romantic comedies that exist in the 1990s, 1980s, you know, that are great, but in this case I'm just focusing on ones that have been released from the year 2000 onwards. These films are in no particular order, they just are 5 that I have watched over and over again. So let's get started. The first film is possibly a predictable one because it seems to be on a lot of people's favourite lists these days, but that is The Proposal. Now I remember going to see this film in the cinema and just absolutely loving it. I thought that it was amazing. I thought that both Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds were absolutely incredible in it, and Betty White is just the absolute shining star of this film. I feel like this is quite a predictable film. It is one of those ones that you go into, as is the case with a lot of romantic comedy films, where within the first 5 minutes of the film you know exactly how it's going to end, you know exactly what's coming, but that doesn't stop this being a really well written, well acted, very funny and heartwarming film. There are so many moments in this film that are just really quotable, and moments that me and my friends talk about all the time. Particularly the scene in the forest with Sandra Bullock and Betty White dancing is just one of my favourite romantic comedy scenes ever. It's absolutely hilarious. The look on Ryan Reynolds' face when he walks into this forest clearing and sees what she's doing is just brilliant. I think another really wonderful thing about this film is the chemistry between the two lead actors, because they were obviously very good friends for long before they made this film, so they knew each other really well, they were very close, so the chemistry felt very genuine and very real and authentic. It's one that I always end up putting on if I'm not really sure what else to watch. It's also one that if I happen to stumble across it on the TV, no matter what point it's at, I'm probably still going to watch it. It's got beautiful scenery, the place that it's filmed is just absolutely stunning. Beautiful scenery, great chemistry between the actors, a lot of really funny moments, definitely one to watch. Next on my list is a little festive one, and that is The Holiday. I've talked about my love for this film a lot of times before. I just don't think anything can beat sitting down to watch The Holiday round about Christmas time with a glass of wine and Christmas sweets and the Christmas tree lights on, and just watching this and just getting totally sucked in again to such a lovely story. Again, I think that this has got some brilliant actors in it. I think all 4 of them in this film are excellent. I am a huge Kate Winslet fan anyway. I love Kate Winslet, really love Jack Black, and I really like Jude Law. Cameron Diaz, I'm often sort of hit or miss with, so there's been some films I've loved her in, others not so much, but I think she's brilliant in this. I think all 4 of them are great. So you've got the gorgeous sunny palm trees location in LA, and then you've got the gorgeous snow-covered London location with the cute little cottage, and it's just beautiful. It's lovely to look at. It's a lovely story. It always makes me laugh. It always makes me cry. The storyline with Arthur makes me cry every single time. It doesn't matter how often I watch this film, I still tear up at the moment that he's walking up onto the stage. And I think it's excellent. I love all of the characters, particularly Iris. I think she's just amazing. And yeah, this is one that will never get old. Next is one that I think is actually a really underrated romantic comedy, and one that not enough people talk about, and that is Just Like Heaven. Again, this is one that I have very vivid memories of going to see in the cinema with my friends. We were still at school at the time. I think this was released in about 2004? 2006, so we were still at school at that point, and we went to see this. We were massive Reese Witherspoon fans, so we went to go and see it, and we just thought that it was lovely. I also love Mark Ruffalo, and I think that the chemistry between the 2 of them in this film is amazing. I think that this has a lot of really funny moments that people, again, don't really talk about very often, but I think because of the nature of the story, if you've never seen this film, I don't really want to give much away, but basically Mark Ruffalo moves into a new apartment, and when he moves in there he is confronted by this ghost or spirit of this woman who's played by Reese Witherspoon, who claims that this is her apartment and she hasn't died, and what is he doing there and he has to get out. And it's basically them figuring out who she is or who she was, and of course over the course of time they form this connection, and it's very lovely, it's very romantic. Again, there's a couple of standout moments for me that always make me laugh. There's a moment where they're sitting in the park having a conversation, and if you've seen it you'll know what bit I'm talking about. It always makes me laugh. Reese Witherspoon's character I absolutely love. I love both of them. I think they're both great characters. They've both been through a lot, and when they sort of meet and find each other, it's just lovely. So this is a really good one. Next is a film that, much to my horror, I have lost the disc out of. I don't know where it is. It is on, I want to say Amazon Instant Video, which is good because it means that I can watch it. But this is Crazy Stupid Love. This is a film that I'd heard a lot about when it came out initially in 2011, and I'd heard a lot of positive things about it, but I didn't see it immediately. So I saw the DVD for I think about £3 or something at one point in HMV or Asda or somewhere, and I picked it up because I thought, well, it's a rom-com, everyone really likes it, and it's got some of my favourite actors in it. It has Emma Stone, it has Ryan Gosling, it has Steve Carell. What could possibly go wrong? And it was definitely a good decision because I think this film is amazing. It says in the front cover here that Easy Living called it a funnier, smarter, sassier Love Actually. Which I don't necessarily know if that's how I would describe it, but it does have a lot of these sort of interconnected people who know each other through circumstances that you might not guess, and it's just lovely. I think what really draws me to this film probably is the actors because I love them all so much. I really like Julianne Moore, love Emma Stone, Steve Carell's brilliant, Ryan Gosling's brilliant, Kevin Bacon's hilarious. It's very well written, it's very funny. I really love the relationship that kind of forms between Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell. I really can't say enough good things about this. If you haven't seen it, definitely go and check it out. I know it's not maybe necessarily everyone's cup of tea, but I just loved it. I thought that it was warm and it was funny, and it had a few really nice twists in it that the first time that I watched it I didn't see coming, and then watching it again I was like, oh, why did I not see that? So it is one of these ones that you can go back and watch again and pick up new things, and yeah, I do. I think it's smart, I think it's funny, I think it's well written and well acted. Very, very good film. And finally, one that is not going to come as a surprise to anyone who has watched film related videos on my channel, this is Silver Linings Playbook. I think that Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro, the whole cast of this film, just do such an incredible job with it. I think the fact that most of them were nominated for Best Actor or Supporting Actor or Supporting Actress or whatever awards for this film just goes to show how strong they all were. I haven't actually read the book. I feel like I should read the book at some point, but I just think that the story of this film is so touching and so nice, and it's about two people who find each other at a time that they really, really need someone else, and they really need someone else to understand them. So it explores mental illness in quite an interesting way. It explores relationships in terms of romance, in terms of family, in terms of friendships in a very interesting way, and in quite a light-hearted and funny way. It's also a film, I said this in my blog post, that none of the rest of the films in this list my mum would succeed in getting my dad to watch. But they both watched this and both absolutely loved it, so I think that that sort of sets it apart slightly. It's got a slightly different tone to the rest of the films. This is one of my favourite films of all time, not just one of my favourite rom-coms. So that's it for my top 5 21st century rom-coms. I really hope that you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments down below if you like any of these films or if you don't like any of these films, and also let me know what some of your favourite rom-coms are. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you're having a lovely weekend, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye! Amy Poehler is just unbelievably brilliant as Leslie Knope. She's fast becoming one of my all-time favourite TV characters. She's incredible. There are a lot of very, very strong